Welcome back to Horn Takes, your Texas football and baseball talk destination. I am Sean Redfern. Folks, it is Tuesday. We had technical difficulties yesterday. I got up in the morning, went to grab my laptop. It was all the way dead, and I had no way to charge it. I guess my cable went bad during the night, just sitting there. So we got a late start on the after action review, and that's why we're backed up a day. So we'll do the after action review today. Tomorrow, which we usually don't do a show on Wednesday, tomorrow we will have the deep dive on this Kentucky offense. That'll get us back on schedule. You can check us out on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube at Horn Takes. Just like to listen to podcasts, check us out at Apple Podcast, iHeart Podcast, Spotify Podcast, all the podcast places. Check us out there. Subscribe there. It'll automatically download it to you, and you can just listen to it. It's amazing technology. Go to horntakespodcast.buzzsprout.com. Also, to see all of the podcast episodes, I say see, hear all the podcast episodes. If you want to just check out video, which we started adding video, I started doing more video analysis to the show just in the last couple weeks because I kind of figured out a good way to do it. So if you want to see the video stuff, you're going to have to go to YouTube and subscribe. But go ahead and go on over to the podcast and subscribe. You can listen to the podcast while you're driving around all day doing whatever it is you do. And then you can log on at night, check it out, and see all the cool videos. That would be the perfect thing for you guys. Trace Otra games recap week 12. We came into the week 24-6. And I got to apologize, folks. I got pretty confused on what my record was. And I actually had to go back and look at it. And that's how I found out I was 24-6. Forgot that we skipped a week. We missed a week. So the numbers weren't adding up in my head in real time. And I was like, man, something ain't right. And so I went back and looked. I got it now. We're 24-6 on the season headed into this week. Number 23, Mizzou at number 21, South Carolina. I'm really shocked by the outcome of this game. I got to be honest. I mean, I made my pick before I knew Brady Cook was going to play. So maybe subconsciously that's why I picked it. But honestly, even with Brady Cook, I'm surprised this game turned out the way this game turned out. I've been telling y'all all year long, I just do not think Missouri is that good of a team. They're not near as good as everybody thought they were. That win against Ohio State, which was what everybody was basing how good they were on, just not an impressive win to me. Is a meaningless bowl game, and Ohio State didn't even have half their players. It's like people wanted Mizzou to be so good, so bad that they just completely forgot the fact that nobody cared about the Cotton Bowl. And like half their team didn't play in the Cotton Bowl. So I've been saying they're trash all year long. And I thought the Cox would get them, folks. I had the Cox 38-15 over Mizzou. They end up winning the game, but they only win it 34-30. So really close game. Honestly, who knows what the hell to think in the SEC anymore? There are some really wild things that could possibly potentially happen in the SEC going forward. And maybe we'll talk about that on Friday or something. Don't have enough time to talk about it today. But we're 1-0 on the recap so far. Then we got number 7, Tennessee, at number 12, Georgia. Just thought this was going to be a tough game for Tennessee, man. On the road in Athens. We didn't think they'd have their starting quarterback by the time we made these picks. That kind of came out, I believe later Thursday afternoon after we made our picks. We find out that Nico will play. Maybe it was Friday. I'm not 100% sure. I know we did our picks Thursday early. But I thought this Georgia team, man, when they're not shooting themselves in the foot, when they're not turning the ball over, I think it's a really dangerous team. It's obviously talented. And so I had Georgia, man. I said they find a way to stay alive, and I thought it'd be a really low scoring game. I had 20-17, ends up being 31-17. So I was close a little bit, at least on the Tennessee side. I was close. So 2-0, 2-0 headed into Game 3, looking good. No way Arizona State goes on the road at K State and beats number 16 K State, right? No way. K State's undefeated at home. Arizona State is not good on the road until last night or till Saturday night. And they go into Manhattan, Kansas, and they walk out of there with a 24-14 win. We had K-State staying alive in this one, 31-23 over Arizona State. And K-State just couldn't get us the points. Couldn't get themselves the points. So we go 2-1 in week 12. We're 26-7 in Trace Otra games, headed into the final 2 weeks of the season. Pretty excited about that, man. That's a pretty good record. Let's get into this after action review for this Arkansas game. Kind of ugly game all the way around. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect this Texas offense to struggle the way they struggled. I think part of that is I didn't expect Arkansas to come up and play a three-man line and three high safeties the whole game either. And I'm sure Steve Sarkisian and his staff did not as well. I thought we'd see some wrinkles, but I thought it would be more on the pressure side of the house. Not not sitting back and letting Quinn Ewers have time to throw, but like really trying to get after him. Total yards, Texas with 315 in the game. Arkansas only 231. Passing yards, Texas 176 to Arkansas's 149. Completion percentage, Arkansas had a pretty good one, 68%. Quinn Ewers 62.5%. 2 touchdowns for Quinn, 0 interceptions. 0 touchdowns, 1 interception for the Arkansas quarterback, whose name I cannot remember for some strange reason right now. Here's where Texas really did a murder. Rushing yards, Arkansas only had 82 rushing yards in this game. 34 attempts, 2.4 yards per carry. Texas with 139 rushing yards on 41 attempts for 3.4 yards per carry. But here's the problem. That is accounting for 2 sacks. That's accounting for 3 kneel downs. That's accounting for 1 design quarterback run. And it's accounting for 1 really disastrous reverse play that lost like 5, 6, 7 yards. We'll talk about it later, but the running backs actually had a pretty solid game for Texas in this game. Arkansas with the 1 touchdown on the ground, also 1 fumbles. Texas 0 of either one of those things. Texas with 10 points off of turnovers. Probably the difference in the game. If you really look at it, those turnovers and the points off of them. Third down percentage for Texas was terrible. 26.6%. Arkansas 41%, which is not as good as what they normally do, but it was above the Texas defense average by nearly a point. Texas 2 for 2 on 4th down. Arkansas did not attempt any 4th downs. Texas was 100 in the red zone, and so was Arkansas. Texas had 1 touchdown, 2 field goals. Arkansas just had the 1 touchdown. Penalties, nothing going on here. 2 for 15 for each team. Sacks, big advantage to Texas. 6 sacks to Arkansas's 2. So you look at those stats and you go, yeah, man, Texas kind of handily just played better, right? And that's fair. But in almost all of these categories, they were less than their average. Or Arkansas did better than Texas's average. So kind of a double-edged sword there. Players that popped. Matthew Golden, man, I don't know. I mean, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. Had an opportunity for another one. His first one was nice and easy, man. Wide open on that little screen, fake screen pass to the outside. Got behind the safety, just came a running. Came a running from 12 yards deep. He ran right past him. Easy throw for Quinn. The second one was definitely an NFL type catch, man. Matthew Golden has some hands. So good for him, man. He's having an outstanding. I think he's tied in the SEC for touchdowns receiving. And these are in no particular order, folks. I don't rank these. I just, as I'm watching it and relooking at stats and those types of things, I just like, here's my players that popped. Jahdae Barron, folks, 7 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, an interception, and a QB hurry. I tweeted out on Saturday while I was watching the game, and we talked about it in Drunk Sean Thoughts on Sunday. Jahdae Barron might have won the Thorpe Award in the first half of the game on Saturday against Arkansas. I mean, I don't know. That'll be an interesting race. Travis Hunter certainly like the bigger name. Certainly has the most hype around him as far as who wins the Thorpe Award. And I think those are the 2 guys. But if you look at the stats, it's not even close. Jahdae Barron is by far the better defensive back. He just doesn't get the same hype. I mean, if Travis Hunter's a great player, like if he were to win the Thorpe, I'd be disappointed for Jahdae Barron, but I wouldn't be pissed that he won it. So I'm not trying to be disparaging towards Travis. I actually, honestly, to me, Travis Hunter is like one of the only things I actually like about Colorado's football team at this point. Like you look at full package, he just seems like a. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't run his mouth a little bit, but that's all college football players. You can't hold that against him. I don't think he goes out of his way. I think he's a pretty humble kid. I think he just likes to play ball. And you know what's crazy is he's doing something that most kids stop doing in junior high, and he's playing like the entire game. In an era of you've got quarterbacks taking themselves out of NFL games because they're tired, boss, and you got guys that don't want to play on special teams. You know all these things you got going on in college football and in the NFL. A guy that just wants to play every single play, you gotta love that. I think you have to. If you don't, I don't know what's wrong with you. Alfred Collins, for the second week in a row, a player that popped. Man, he showed up this week in the stat sheet. Last week we talked about him. We had some film on him saying, hey, man, big Alfred Collins making money. You won't see it on the stat sheet, but look at all these great things he's doing in the games. This week, it showed up in the stat sheet. 7 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, and a forced fumble. The forced fumble to seal the deal for Texas, at least defensively. The offense still had to go and wind some clock, get some first downs, which they did. Big Alfred Collins, man. Welcome to the show. If you've listened to me for any amount of time on TikTok or on this YouTube channel, you have heard me talk about Alfred Collins the entire time, just going like, man, please, just let the light turn on for this dude. Man, this sounds weird. I don't know Alfred Collins. I don't even know where Alfred Collins is from. I think he's from Houston somewhere. I am so happy for that dude because that dude is like, he is the model of stick around, keep working, and good stuff will happen for you. If you got the talent and you just keep working, listen, man, some people get it quicker than others. You got Colin Simmons. He runs out there as a freshman, and he's so damn good athletically. He's making plays earlier this season, not even knowing what he's doing. And now he's starting to learn it a little better. And he's making a lot of plays, right? Everybody sort of progresses at different levels, man. It takes some people time to do it. It takes other people no time to do it. And the guys that can stick around, Alfred Collins could have easily went somewhere else and probably played a lot, but he didn't. And I don't know why he didn't. I can only assume he loved being a Texas Longhorn. He loved playing for Steve Sarkisian and his coaching staff. But good on him, man, for just keeping after it. And this last half of the season so far, he has been outstanding. So good for him, man. We're happy for Big Alfred Collins. Another guy that popped this week, Barron Sorrell. 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. He had himself a sack, had himself a QB hurry. Good to see Barron Sorrell continue to just get better. Barron Sorrell's a guy that's been starting at Texas for, I think it's his 3rd year to start. And the first 1.5, 2 of those years were just really rough from a pass rush perspective. He's always been good against the run because he's a really big guy. He's like, matter of fact, the next time you're watching a Texas game, which I assume will be this Saturday, pay attention to when they kind of do a close-up shot of Barron Sorrell standing next to anybody. He is a big, big dude. 6'5", 265, 270. I mean, he is a big dude. So he's always been good against the run. And now he's starting to. I mean, I don't think he's ever been. Last year he was okay in the pass rush. But he's starting to get a little bit better and a little bit better, man. I like it. I'm happy for all those guys. So those were our players that popped. Officiating, we always got to talk about the officiating. I do it almost every single week. Hardly knew they were there. I don't know who that crew is. I don't know anything about that crew except that game was like exactly how a college football game should be officiated. They freaking set the ball, they blew the whistles, they wound their hands. Every once in a while, when a flag went down, they got together. I don't think there's a crew that does a better job in college football of working together after a flag to make sure they get the right call. They throw the flag because they think they see something. They go and have a conversation about it. And then if it's still a flag, it's a flag. If it's not, they wave it off. They did it multiple times. I think they did it for each team. They don't call every little single thing. I mean, folks, some of these games turn into just absolute shit shows because the officials will not keep the flags in their pocket. So good on them, man. I thought the only. So I think they called four penalties in this game. 2 of them were procedure penalties. The other 2 were holdings, and they were both holding 100%. I mean, I think if you look at any play in this game, and I'm sure Arkansas fans, they probably have some too. So I'm just going to tell you the one I noticed was that throw into the end zone. And I believe it was Golden, might have been Bond, trying to get back to the ball, and the defensive back was all up in his chest, pushing him away, certainly keeping him from getting to where the ball was going. I thought you could have called that pass interference, and I think most crews absolutely would have called that pass interference. But here's the deal: they were consistent, and it wasn't every other play they're calling a freaking penalty. So I'm okay with that. Whoever that dude is, put him in charge of whatever the new organization is that holds referees accountable. and that all of those dudes report to, and it's a full-time job, he's the president of that. Because they're good. Let's check some tape from this game on Saturday. Folks, I did not put any notes, so this is all going to be news to me. I thought I had. Maybe that was part of my technical difficulties. Let's see what we got here. We got let's see, we got 1st and 10. This is the very first play of the game, I believe. No, not. This was like the second first down of the game. Let's see what we got here. We got a little swing. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. So we talked about how Arkansas ran a lot of 3 deep and 3-man down linemen. This is why it's hard. A lot of people are out there going, "Oh man, Quinn, oh he fucking sucks and he can't do anything and da 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 da." Folks, look at all this shit. There's no spot on this field right here past the line of scrimmage to throw the ball to. When a team gets in a look, I mean, they got 3 down linemen, and then they got 8 guys between 5 and 10 yards off the ball. 14 yards off the ball. So in the 9 yards between 5 yards off the ball and 14 yards off the ball, there are 8 dudes spread across the field. And they're basically just saying, "Dude, please run the ball on me because you are not passing it, because there ain't going to be a fucking place on the planet to throw a football in all this mess. If you do, you're going to have to be really damn accurate to complete it." And so all they're doing is they're keeping all this shit in front of them, and they're running to where the ball goes. And you see it right here on this play. They run the little fake. They throw it out on the screen. Nothing. 3 dudes in a hurry. Let's go to the next play because I'm pretty sure I wanted to talk about the 3 deep mess there too. This 3 deep look, by the way, Quinn Ewers, and I'm not picking on Quinn. He has never played well against this. He's had games where he's been okay, but he has never lit it up against a team that's consistently in this 3 deep look. Here we go again. There's your 3 deep safeties. You got 3 down linemen. You got 5 dudes across the line of scrimmage, all the way from sideline to sideline at about 5 yards. And they're just saying, "Run the ball, man." I bet we don't run the ball. You got all those people piled up. Quinn steps up in the pocket, and they get to him with 4. I believe it was 4. I believe they brought a linebacker, but I could be wrong. It's hard to anticipate throws when there's a picket fence of dudes standing back there. And they're not really dropping. These safeties aren't dropping really deep. When certainly not at the snap. They're not leaving space on drops. So you guys that want to be out there and listen, I'm not defending Quinn. I'm going to say some stuff about him later that you'll probably love if you don't like Quinn, but you guys got to understand what the quarterback is seeing. He goes down for a sack. He got sacked a couple times. The other time he tripped over somebody's foot, I think. Same type of deal. He was trying to step up in the pocket. There just ain't nowhere for the ball to go. Here we got a Quinn miss on a pass. Pretty sure you're going to see, I believe it's Golden, run this post all the way across the field. I think Quinn just kind of felt like he didn't have more time because look there. As that ball gets further and further down the field, Golden gets more and more wide open. When he threw that ball, I think he was pretty well covered up. And so obviously you're the quarterback, you want to protect the football. Your natural reaction is going to be to put it out there a little further. If he would have waited just a hair, Golden clears all that, and I think he can throw a more accurate ball without having to worry about that. Now, does he? I don't know. Quinn really, really struggles on balls down the field, especially where, and I'm going to say this, please don't take me the wrong way, especially on routes where the wide receiver is moving horizontally away from him. And what I mean by that is on this post. Once he broke to the post and he got past Quinn Ewers' center on that field, he is now running away from Quinn Ewers. vertically and also horizontally. And I don't know what it is. Quinn struggles with arrow type routes. He struggles with corner routes, long ones. He just, I don't even know how to say it. It's like his mind can't tell his arm where the ball should go. It's like too much change happening too fast for him with the horizontal slash vertical nature of those types of routes. He just misses them a lot. Go back and look at all the misses from this year. A lot of them are those types of routes. Sure, he's missed on just straight down the field deep throws. Sure, he has. The majority of them, though, the receiver is going vertically away from him and horizontally away from him. I think this next one is another Quinn miss. I don't know what's getting circled there. Let's see. Drop back. We get a lot of pressure out of that same look. Oh, here's the miss. Quinn's going to get sacked on this play. Look at Isaiah Bond down there at the bottom of the screen. He's going right down where the first down is, and he's going to make a first down. If Quinn just sees him right now and throws the ball, and it looks like he's looking that direction. I don't know. Maybe he was looking here. Maybe he was looking at the receiver past the line or past the first down marker. I don't quite know who that is at this point. But if he hits Isaiah Bond, let's finish it out. It's an easy first down. Instead, he trips over his offensive lineman, goes down for his second sack of the day. This is a cool play. I'm trying to remember why. Let's run it. Oh, this is the offensive line creating massive holes in the running game, to which people told me on Sunday we could not run the ball. That's why we didn't do it, is because we couldn't do it. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. That was absolutely a massive run. We get the same look. Oh, I talked about how parts of this game, this was in Drunk Sean Thoughts. I talked about, is it just me or does the play calling seem a little discombobulated lately? Meaning not the results of plays, but like the plays don't seem to build on each other like we've seen in the past. And I talked about that 49-0 Red River shootout when there was 3 plays in a row for Texas offensively. Same exact formation, all 3 plays. Same exact motion on all 3 plays. 3 completely different plays, and they covered about 60 yards in 3 plays for a touchdown. So I was looking for that a little bit when I went back and looked at this tape, when I checked tapes. And guess what I found, folks? I found that absolutely it wasn't totally discombobulated. Old Steve did some stuff based off the other stuff. So that run play we just saw was right before this play, or a couple plays before this play. And then we get the same kind of action. And let me back it up a little bit so we get the same kind of action across the backfield right here. We get the run fake, and it's a pass. And you're going to see a little dig route at the top of the screen, and yours is going to absolutely nail it. Boom. Nice ball, nice timing. The linebackers come up on the play action pass. So, and again, folks, I realize this isn't every single play in the game. But this is the touchdown drive. You're going to see a little run here. Nice little gain up the middle. I was told we couldn't run between the tackles. I was told we could not get any yards. We kept getting stopped for loss over and over again, and that's why Steve Sarkisian didn't run the ball. That was all day Sunday on Twitter. Here we go. We're gonna do another little run down to the bottom of the screen. Not a lot of room, but picks up enough to get the first down. Again, they did that a lot in the first quarter. They did it a ton in the fourth quarter. Not so much in the second and third quarter. We've talked about it over and over again, how Steve Sarkisian goes into these moments where he just like abandons the run. And that's what he did in the middle of this game. Watch this play. This one's cool because it's going to set up a play here in a little bit. You're going to watch Quinn Ewers hand the ball off. You're going to see some motion, I believe, go across from the bottom to the top of the screen. You're going to see him fake the handoff or give the handoff, but he's going to fake the screen. Oh, I was totally wrong. Completely different play. This was the one where that must have been the play before. See, I should have took notes, folks. It's all right. Let's back it up a little bit. It's this play. So you're going to see Jaden Blue. Did you see that fake by Quinn? Let's back it up a little more. I wish there was a better way to back these things up on this little program that I'm using. So right here, he's going to fake it, or he's not going to fake it. He's going to hand it off to Blue. You got all this screen action going to the top of the screen. Watch his fake out there to that screen. He turns like he's going to throw. Then we get the next play where we try to go into the end zone. Wingo almost makes a great play. The defensive back does make a great play on the ball. Wingo almost catches it off the carom and takes it in for a touchdown, but he just couldn't quite get it done. But watch what happens on this play. You're going to get the play action. You're going to get the look out there to the flat, and watch the deep safety who's underneath my picture right now, about the 13-yard line on the hash. He is going to come a running. And whoop, Golden goes right past him for an easy touchdown. That was not discombobulated. That is what I'm used to seeing from Steve Sarkisian. So nice drive there. They utilized the run. They did some plays that sort of played off of each other. Good stuff. Here we go. We got to talk about this defense. Watch Alfred Collins lined up in a 4 technique, 5 technique, whatever you want to call him. He's right there between the guard and the right tackle. Watch just the relentless effort to come get a sack. I'm going to go by you. I'm going to go in between you. I'm going to come tackle you. Taylor Greed did not have a chance against a 3-man front right there. The Texas pass rush, really, really good all afternoon. Watch this one. You got our guy, Colin Simmons, at the bottom of the screen, on the bottom of the edge. He just keeps running, just keeps running, just keeps running. You're not getting past him. Barron Sorrell in on that one as well. I believe, though, they gave that one to Colin Simmons because Barron Sorrell gets his own later on in the game. And then right here, you're going to see Trey Moore finally get on the board as a Texas Longhorn. Poor that guy, man. He's been really good to me all year long. He just has not got a sack. He works hard. He gets a lot of pressure. He does. I mean, we've talked about him the last 2 games. Just some of the really athletic, smart, savvy plays he's made. Well, here he's finally going to just keep working, keep working, keep working. Finally gets that sack. I think he gets an assist from Colin Simmons, rather. Colin Simmons basically got into a bear crawl at the very beginning of that play and just kept doing it. So Trey Moore, folks, finally getting on the board. You got to love that. Final thoughts. Listen, we talked about the 4 keys. Contain Taylon Green. He was 3rd in the country coming in with 290 all-purpose yards per game. He had half that against Texas. Mission accomplished. You can check that one off. Keep the running backs involved. They got a lot of touches. 39 touches between all 3 running backs, 6 of those in the pass game. But here's where it's kind of goofy. 6 carries in the first quarter, 9 in the second quarter, 5 in the third quarter, 13 in the fourth quarter. 13 of the 22 offensive plays in the fourth quarter were running back runs. 3 of those were kneel downs. 1 of those was a Quinn Ewers run. Texas backs had 33 carries for 147 yards, which is 4.45 yards per carry. Not the greatest average ever. but certainly not we can't run. Jaden Blue averaged 5.9 yards per carry, and I got, oh, well, take away the long run, and what did he average? Okay. He averaged 4.2 yards per carry. Again, not the greatest average, but that certainly isn't we couldn't run. Stop telling me and stop letting Steve Sarkisian get off the hook with, we tried, but we just can't run it. We just cannot do it. Bullshit. 4.45 yards per carry. 40% of the running back runs in this game came in the fourth quarter when the defense knew 100% that's exactly what we were going to try to do. And they still did it. They did it better than they did the rest of the game. 6 yards per carry in the fourth quarter. Take away the long blue run because that's what we can do. We can just ignore certain plays because they help our argument. They only average 4 yards per carry if you take away the blue run. So when I was having all these discussions, I didn't know any stats because I told you guys on Sundays, it's Drunk Sean thoughts. I do not look at stats. I do not look at the game again until either late Sunday night after I've done Drunk Sean thoughts or early in the morning on Monday when I get up because I'm old. If I'd have known that, I would have eviscerated these people. Number 3 was protect Quinn Ewers, 2 sacks. I think he ran into one. He fell over somebody on the other one. I thought the offensive line did a pretty damn good job. I definitely don't think they did not protect him in the play calling, though. Sark, man, you got to prioritize the running game some. I don't want to be 1995 Nebraska. That's not what I'm suggesting. I'm simply saying if your guys are picking up 8 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards against a 3-man front and 3 deep safeties, why in the hell would you not run them out of that so you can pass it? Y'all want to know why we didn't score a bunch of points in this game? I'll tell you why. Because we kept throwing the ball into the teeth of a 3-down lineman look with 8 guys between 5 yards and 14 yards of the line of scrimmage. Instead of running it right through them. They're giving you 5 yards every single play. Quinn Ewers could have taken the snap, put the ball out to one side, and the running back goes straight forward for 5 yards every damn play. And instead, we threw it and went 3 and out, a few and out. Go back and look at both the touchdown drives in this game. No surprise, they're drives where they made the running game a priority. 3 of 6, 3 of the 6 plays on the first touchdown, runs. 5 of the 8 plays on the second touchdown, runs. Run the fucking football more. And quit seeing one tackle for loss against Texas's running game, Texas football fans, and saying we can't do it. Quit looking at just the bottom line on the stat sheet of average yards per carry and saying we can't do it. Number 4 was win third down. The offense was abysmal on third down. Terrible. We talked about it earlier. Defense held Arkansas below its average for the year, but Arkansas was 10 percentage points better than Texas opponents have been all year on third downs on Saturday. We thought Texas would get a fast start, never look back, and dominate the Hogs up in Fayetteville. We said 41-13. They end up winning at 20-10, so we were obviously wrong on that. Again, I said it on Drunk Sean Thoughts. I don't have a problem with not expecting something because I think Arkansas showed Texas and Steve Sarkisian something they just haven't showed a lot this year. Certainly not consistently. And they did it the whole game. Okay, you weren't ready for it. But once you see it, adjust. He is stubborn. And by the way, I'll say it again. I love Sark. I don't know that I'd rather have another guy be the coach at the University of Texas, but that doesn't mean he's infallible. Again, the offense has got to prioritize the run more. If they will do that, we've talked about it so many times. It's not just the yards you get in the run game. It's making the defense do something else. They could have ran Arkansas out of that 3-man front if they'd have just did it quickly. You run the ball for 3 or 4 times in a row for 5, 6, 7, 8 yards a pop, which they absolutely could have. You best believe the next time you substitute, there's finna be 4 fat dudes running out on the field. The 3-man line is gone, which means you can't have 10 guys spread out or 8 guys spread all out across the back end of the defense. I know running game is not fancy. I know it's oftentimes not explosive. But if you want to win games and you really want to pass the ball, sometimes you're going to have to make it easier for yourself to pass the ball. And a good way to do that is to run them out of all that coverage shit. Another thing I kept seeing on Twitter, there's too many negative plays. We just got stopped in the run for too many. No, man. Go back and look at all the negative plays in that game. They're all pass plays. The majority of them were pass plays. Quinn still does Quinn stuff. I don't think and this is the other thing that's so frustrating about like the way Steve Sarkisian calls games. I don't think Quinn is a guy that you can just throw the whole thing on his shoulders. I know he's done it before. He has the ability for sure, but I don't think consistently he's that guy. And I think that's what you've seen for most of this year when Quinn has been in the games. When Quinn has played, Steve Sarkisian is putting that on his shoulders. Go win us the game. It's a pass-happy offense. But listen, guys, he misses deep throws. He misses reads. He does things that aren't smart with the ball that I think it was in the fourth quarter. Maybe it was in the second quarter. They do that little rollout screen where he turns around and throws it to somebody. The running back was out there in the flat. There was a dude 2 yards. I have no idea how he completed the pass. But I know he saw him because he turned, looked, went like he was going to throw, decided against it, and then threw it anyway. So Quinn is not perfect, and Quinn is not going to win the whole damn thing by yourself. But you know what? I think he's good enough to win with. Sark just has to help him out. The defense, absolutely ridiculous. Listen to these stats. 9 of 11 Arkansas drives had 7 plays or less. 7 of them had 6 plays or less. 6 of them, they gained 9 or less yards. Over half of Arkansas's drives, they gained 9 or less yards. 2 of 11 drives went for negative yardage. And Arkansas only touched the ball 4 times in the second half. Why? Because Texas was running the ball and possessing the ball. Texas 9-1, 5-1 in SEC play, headed into the final 2 weeks of the season. All this talk about if Texas loses, this should happen. Everybody's welcome to their opinion, and I don't disagree. If Texas loses a regular season game, in my opinion, they shouldn't be in the playoff. That discussion should be over, unless somehow they make it into the SEC championship game with those 2 losses. I don't even know what it would take to make that happen. But if you're Texas, just go keep winning. That's it. Keep winning. We'll be back tomorrow. That's Wednesday with the deep dive on the Kentucky offense. You can find us on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube at Horn Takes. Give us a subscribe. Give us a follow. Won't cost you guys anything, but we sure do appreciate the support. You can email me at horntakespodcast@gmail.com with all your questions, comments, concerns, and criticisms. I love them all. We're headed into Kentucky week. Let's keep it going, Longhorns. You guys get hooked.